Hey everyone. So as I put on Instagram and many people answered, I will do a video about the New Zealand accent. I don't have a huge amount to say about the New Zealand accent, but I am going to focus on three main parts. The reason that I'm doing this is because being here in China, I am interacting with a lot of different people, and of course I have to teach children. And children in China, they seem to prefer listening to American accents, but they will listen to anything and try and mimic it as best they can. Alright, so the three things that I wanted to mention are New Zealanders generally have what we call the rising terminal, or rising inflection. I don't have that so much. I did start off the video using a rising inflection. For those of you that don't know what it is, it's where you end every sentence where it just sounds like a question, and people don't really know if you're asking a question or not, but we do it all the time in New Zealand. Um, there have been studies that show that Maori people do it more frequently than Pakeha, and perhaps this is due to a perceived politeness, where asking questions in that sort of manner, or hedging a sort of question, can be seen as more polite than directly telling someone something, which is quite different to Chinese culture here. So I don't assume that my rising terminals will change. I don't really have a lot of them. The second one is our high sound. So that happens with our bed, pen, um, then you get sort of like diphthongy ones, head, bed, head, pen, red, those sorts of sounds. That is an interesting one because anywhere outside of New Zealand, people will generally probably mock you for it in a nice way. In a nice way. When I went to Britain and I said, "All right, kids, go to bed," go to bed. They'd go, "Go to bed, go to bed." I'm like, no, go to bed, go to bed, go to bed, go to bed. Um, of course, it's the same here in China where you say, "Pick up your pen," and they go, "Ha, pen." Um, so that is one thing that I am actively moderating in class, particularly when I teach phonics for younger kids. I taught a class yesterday where they had to learn the words jet, vet, wet, hen, pen, red, those sorts of words. And they're, of course, all using that high vowel, and I'm dropping it down. Hopefully, if I can figure out my video editing software, I will put in a picture of the IPA chart and you can see the high vowel nice and easily. Basically, it's not the highest vowel that exists, but it is much higher than other places, particularly British English. Of course, the final one that is quite noticeable, not just about New Zealand accents, but also most British accents, is our lack of rhoticity, or R. We say chocolate bar, get in the car. They don't have R's, they're just long R. Um, so that's another thing that I have to watch while teaching in China. The two people that I've been observing primarily, there's been a Canadian and an American from Oakland, and of course they both have R's, and so I have to kind of use R's a lot to get ideas across to the kids that I'm taking from them. So I assume I'm probably going to have my high bed go down to bed, most likely, and my R's will become more R-like. That has happened in class a lot, but I mean, how can I show this in a quantitative sense? That's where my background in linguistics comes in handy. I'm hoping that I'll be able to edit this all in. I'm bad with video editing. There is a program called Prat, and it is a sort of, how do I say it? You edit the sounds that you've got. You put it in, you get spectrograms. Spectrograms, hopefully you'll see them, but they are wiggly lines that show the acoustic layout of what's happening. You can identify formants in them and identify where the sort of acoustic intensity is happening and what the frequency is. We're able to tell the difference between different consonants and vowels just by looking at the spectrogram. If you're really good at this sort of thing, you are able to read spectrograms and know exactly what someone is saying, and probably also know what accent they are talking in. I have recorded 2 sentences. I've got one sentence that I wrote: the dead man drove a red Ford car, and the second, the red pen had a silver bar and silver head. Of course, I made sure that I included the rhotic sounds, R, and the higher sounds. So the dead, id, man, drove. We have a R there, but you could say drove, really have a huge R. Red, Ford, car. So those sorts of distinctions will become more apparent in time. And the second one, the red pen, again, those will probably drop. Silver, bar, silver, head. So I think those 2 sentences are pretty good at being able to show how things change. What I have to be careful of is that I know what I'm doing and I have to not think about how I'm recording the sentence, because I could screw up my own experiment. Of course, I should mention as well, there's lots of other things about the New Zealand accent. Small things like I was in class and the teacher was teaching bath. I say bath, they say bath, bath, and the kids were having a great time laughing at the difference. We also have the thing where we say Fosh and Chops, New Zealand. I'm not going to get into that. If you want to know anything else about the New Zealand accent, I'm more than happy to go and make sure I've got myself informed by the correct sources. I've got lots of paperwork that I can go back through for that. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll put the spectrograms in and the vowel chart. Take care, everyone.